I'm with Rachael Murray today, who's the MD of Making Impact Matter. Rachael, welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Great. So tell us a little bit about your business and how it all got started.
So my business is Making Impact Matter. It's a national evaluation company, which I set up, builds on 15 years of me working in the sector doing impact measurement and evaluation. So I've been doing that since 2008, and basically we support organisations, mainly charities, to report on their impact and social value, so they can understand the impact of the work they're doing.
Oh, wow. So what sort of things are you measuring there then?
Anything and anything really. So for charities, it's a lot of work to do with projects that they do. So we do a lot of program evaluations. So they might get funding from the lottery or from Comic Relief, and then they have to kind of report on what they spent their money on. And it's not just about what they spent their finances on, it's also about what difference that actually made to the people that they're working with. So a lot of it is quite hard to measure. So that's why they need people to come in and kind of help them set up measurement frameworks and theories of change on how what they're doing actually leads to positive change in people's lives. So there's, things like improved wellbeing, confidence, skills, education, jobs, anything like that. Just anything that charities kind of focus on. What we try and do is understand what they did with the money. Like, did the program go how they wanted it to? Are there ways that it could be improved? What was the actual impact of the work they did, and that kind of thing. So it's a bit around sort of program management and understanding how you might use your resources in the best way and kind of make the changes that you think you're going to make or that you wanted to make through the work you're doing, but also about really demonstrating the value of the work that they've done, which often you can't really measure it in financial terms. You can't say, oh, we made this much profit. Charities and organizations that work with the, in the social sector don't operate like that. The main value for them is the stories and the case studies and the real difference that it makes to people's lives. So that's kind of what we do.
Wow, that's really interesting. Do you work with any other types of organization apart from charities?
Social enterprises we work a lot with, because they have a lot of social value kind of goals and a lot of social investment now. They actually have to report on that as well. So we do social enterprises, charities mainly, and then a lot of housing associations also have to kind of report on social impact and social value. And since the Social Value Act came into place, if you have a contract with a local authority above a certain value, you actually have to report on your social value as well. So we do organisations who have local authority contracts.
So what would differentiate you from other companies offering similar propositions?
Yeah, I think what we really try and do differently is we offer creative methodologies, which sounds quite complicated, but it's not. One of the things we really want to do is engage really the marginalised voices and the people who maybe aren't normally included in evaluations or research because it's hard to engage with them. So we use a range of kind of creative, co-produced, using experts by experience to really address those kind of power dynamics, so that we can get real people's voices in it, which I think is really powerful. And then as well, in the way that we go about kind of reporting back what we found out, we try to make that as accessible and inclusive as possible. So we do a lot of visual storytelling. So we've got a creative department, and they've got audio visual people who are really expert in doing interviews and case studies and telling the story in a visual way through films and blogs and kind of posts like that, which it just makes what people are telling you and the real difference that you made in their life just more powerful. We also do visualization of data. So using Power BI, which is a Microsoft software, you can really visualize really powerfully the data. So it's not just numbers or an Excel spreadsheet, which obviously if you're a board of trustees, you might not have the time to kind of delve into what an Excel spreadsheet is telling you or a lot of data. But what we try and do is kind of display it in a way that actually tells the story of what's happening. And I just think that makes it more accessible to everyone who's involved in the whole project and all the stakeholders. It's kind of what we focus on.
Right, so some good tech there, really, backing you up. Great, excellent. So what about the future? What are the challenges ahead for you?
I think what I'm really going to focus on is just keeping growing. I actually only started at the beginning of, in December of 2021. So I only started at the start of January and February, this as Make an Impact Matter. And I just want to keep growing. I want to keep getting more associates. So it's an associate model, but I want to get associates with wider interests, wider client base. And I'd really like to take on a partner to grow the business with me, someone who can kind of support me, because I think my main challenges at the minute is keeping up with demand. I've got a lot of clients coming and I've got a lot of clients in the pipeline, and I don't want to be the person that's really holding us back due to kind of my capacity to respond to stuff and to do tenders, which takes a lot of time. So I really want someone to kind of help with that growth side and keep getting work in the pipeline.
Right, okay. Good. So good future ahead then. So you've only just started this year, and how well has that been going?
It's been going really well, a lot better than I actually expected. And I don't know if that's because I'm modest, or you kind of have that imposter syndrome, even though I've been doing it since 2008, I think. You still have that kind of like, am I good enough? Am I going to be, you know, are people going to want to work with me? And it's gone better than I expected. I think I set myself an original target of 30k turnover in the first year. And my overheads are really low. So kind of that would be mostly profit. I've already hit 50k in the first 6 months, and I'm about to go over the VAT threshold in the next few months, which I never expected in the first year. I've managed to get 8 associates on board, and I've had 10 clients already in the first 6 months, and then I've got a further 3 lined up. And I've not done any advertising or promotion, so I really was surprised by how fast it grew. And I think that's because I've been in the sector a long time, so I actually had a lot of kind of contacts and stuff already. And I think what I've learned is that I am already an expert in the field, and I don't need to feel like, you know, just because it's a new business that I'm not someone that can offer some real value and skills to clients. So that's been really helpful. And I think actually if I could do anything differently, I probably would have started earlier and had the confidence to kind of set my own business earlier. Because when I started in 2008, it was such a new area of development for charities that they didn't even really understand why they needed you, whereas now there's a much bigger demand for it, and I could have really grown. But I think it is the right time for me now. I've got the confidence now. I've got the kind of family environment to support me to do it and give the time and energy. And I think as well, like actually the pandemic's really helped me. I think it's really opened up that kind of like flexible and remote working environment. I can access clients in completely different geographical areas. You know, I can be doing 5 different clients in a week in completely different areas, whereas I used to have to travel around a lot, which kind of cuts down the amount of people you can work with. And I also think, yeah, it's just really opened up different opportunities for me. So yeah, it's actually been a benefit in some ways.
What a great start. Where could it be in 3 years' time?
I have set myself goals for 3 years, but because I've already kind of gone way over what I expected in the first year, I think that's what I need to do next, is really look at, okay, maybe the first year I wasn't being realistic at what can be achieved, and actually I want to set myself some higher goals. And I think a lot of that is about bringing on somebody else who can kind of really build the business with me, because I know that a lot of my time at the minute is doing tenders and then actually delivering the client facing work. Whereas if I pull back a bit from the client facing work and spend more time on the business development side, then we'll probably grow more and grow quicker. So it's probably realizing that there's more work out there and there's more call for what we're doing than what I originally thought, and kind of resetting some more realistic and achievable targets for the next 3 years.
Yeah, well, I wish you luck with that, Rachel, and thanks very much for your advice and perspectives and sharing that really positive story.
Thank you.
Thank you.